Let's talk all things visual artistry.
Visual artistry with Alpheus Ngoepe, who's joining us. A Johannesburg-based visual artist whose work traces the emotional landscape of the city itself and, of course, the people that move through it on a daily basis. So he basically begins with the medium of photography, capturing small moments in the streets, the things that are happening in daily life. And then he takes that photography and transforms it into layered paintings that then mirror his own reflections on themes of identity, struggle, and connection. So basically his art is filled with marks that feel like letters, colors that rise and fall, just beauty everywhere. And he joins us on the line. We're talking to him because he's also preparing, just by the way, to showcase his work on the 6th and 7th of December, which is actually this weekend, at Emergent Visions at Jam, which is at 27 boxes actually here in Melville. So we're going to talk to him and we're going to get a sense of how he sees art, in fact, how he sees the city of Johannesburg as his canvas, and then how he translates the photography into paintings.
Yeah.
That is just such a fascinating multidisciplinary way of looking at art and layering it that way. I think he's a very interesting guy.
I've seen some of his work, his pictures, where he's sort of in the city of Johannesburg, right? Somewhere in the CBD somewhere. And he takes one clean shot of a lady maybe packing there by the street corner, some guy walking behind her. Wow, you're like, wow, what a beautiful image that is, because you sort of feel like, oh, I'm also there. I can picture myself being there, and you see the vibrancy of the place itself that he's featuring, and it paints a picture of the reality. Actually, is when you actually go there, it's like, oh no, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look the same, because the way that he sees it, the artistry is in his own eyes, in his own mind, and the way that he captures at certain angles, it makes those pictures come alive and makes you say, wow, this place is actually beautiful.
100%.
I love that kind of photography, and we can't wait to get into conversation with Alpheus, because he's got a showcase, like Mmatseko had mentioned, from the 6th to the 7th of December. So let's get him on the line. Hopefully we'll get him on the line in the next few seconds. But until then, let's take a quick breather. We'll be back right after this.
The sound of Africa is evolving. Experience our new mobile app. Free to download, free to connect. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Morning Switch Weekend with the Shy Guy.
There's a Ugandan lawmaker. His name is Atkins Katusabe, who speaks with an American accent in Parliament. So the parliamentarians have complained that we don't understand what you are saying.
Listen to him. Come on.
Mr. Speaker, I think this is a disaster that could cause an extinction of our entire community. Going to procedure.
Mr. Speaker, the English that is trying to put this matter here is confusing a number of us and making us miss very serious issue. He needs to speak the common English of Uganda. The English is too much.
Need a piece of paper so that we'll be able to read. The English is too much. I picture him saying order, out of order.
Saturday and Sunday mornings belong to the Morning Switch. 3 to 6 a.m. Central African Time. Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
We're 20 minutes in to 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome, dear Upsider, to The Upside. We are in each other's company until 4 p.m. And we're talking art. We're talking photography, meeting visual art with Alpheus Ngoepe, who is a Johannesburg-based visual artist, and we're going to talk about how he basically has given the city of Johannesburg so much character, so much personality, and how he captures the emotional landscape of the city through his work and his reflections, deep, beautiful. I mean, just the purity of his eye is actually what we're going to interrogate here ahead of his showcase that is going to be happening this weekend, the 6th and 7th of December at Emergent Visions at Jam, which is actually at 27 Boxes, just very much across from where we are at the SABC in Auckland Park in the city of Johannesburg. Alpheus continues to see art as a path toward personal growth and social upliftment, and it is a pleasure to him on the show. That was such a random drum roll.
I was delayed a little bit, Tuskies.
No, that's okay. You will be on beat in a moment. Alpheus, it is such a pleasure to welcome you to Channel Africa. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, hello. Thank you. I'm very honored and blessed, to just be here with you guys. And also, very unexpected, but also beautiful,
Listen, we are so glad to know you. And I think what you are doing in terms of absorbing us into your orbit in this manner is timeless, and it makes us think very differently about the places that we live in, where we move around, how we observe, how we are aware of our surroundings. A lot of your work captures the emotional rhythms of the city of Johannesburg, the beauty, sometimes even the heaviness. But there's obviously a big pulse in the city. So talk to us about what drew you to the street moments, if you will, because, you could have chosen any other sort of angle, as it were, to capture Johannesburg, but you took it to the street. Talk to us about, looking at Johannesburg in that manner and then translating it into your artistry.
Yeah, so I'm a visual artist. I'm from Limpopo, born raised in Limpopo. I started in Pretoria and then I moved to Joburg. Moved in Joburg around 2020. I'll just visit, but I only started living fully in Joburg around 2020. So the difference between Limpopo and also just living in Pretoria, Joburg is so much creativity. But as much as there's all of that, creative energy around Joburg, you still have, a lot of, crime and violence in the city, which, is part of the reality. So I've always been curious about why there's just all this movement and emotion and drive in the city. And also just being a creative, meeting a lot of creatives in Joburg also changed the way, I viewed, my own personal life. And also, it also gave me some kind of reason and purpose to continue doing what I'm doing. Because, if these people can still pursue their careers and, still be creative within, the danger that, around CBD, I can still do it. So I only got my studio this year, which is based at a studio house called Focus House, which is in Johannesburg, which is literally in the middle of central Johannesburg CBD. And living in a studio house with, 42 other artists is a dream. And you get to see the reality of the everyday people around CBD. So it was a huge culture shock. I don't know how to describe it. It was a huge shift for me, living in CBD fully and permanently. And this way, I started to, start photographing the people, just doing research with the people, just trying to figure out, why are these people here? What is their story? What are they trying to say? Because there's life that is constantly happening around us, and oftentimes we are very ignorant. And I think this is where maybe art came into play, where I use my everyday life or surrounding and community to kind of use that as, my everyday practice, because it starts with, community. And I do street walks, then I bring back my photographs and I read and I assess them, and then I use those, images or photographs to paint. And most of the time it's really about storytelling, mental health, activism, all of that. Did I answer?
Yes, you did. You did. You captured everything from where you're from to your curiosity about the city and all of that. Really fascinating.
I
Yeah.
love that. Alpheus, I want to know, were you trained as a visual artist or were you self-taught?
So I've always been curious. I mean, I've always expressed myself through, crayons and, paintings, mark making, but like where I come from, it wasn't like encouraged. So I studied more like engineering related, courses. I studied electrical engineering in high school, and I continued to do mechanical engineering and OHS, occupational health and study. But I've never been happy. That has never fulfilled me. And I even worked in construction. So I started doing my research around the visual arts around 2023. I think around 2020, 2021, I had an epiphany. I was like, I need to really think about what my future's gonna look like. I know that like I'm a creative at heart. Like I think about it, this is what I dream. And this is how I want my life, my lifetime. I wanna live by creating. I just need to find a way to monetize it. So around 2022 actually, I started doing research around 2022. I wasn't practicing at the time. I was working, I was freelancing as a graphic designer, and I would oftentimes, find myself in, construction, short-term construction projects. But I was doing a lot of research at the time, 2022, 2023. So I did my research by actually attending workshops around Joburg that, the city sometimes organizes workshops, which is very important for very, emerging artists. I did another workshop which was business related. So I did like different kinds of workshops which would touch different fundamental topics that you need to understand, as an artist. So the whole 2022, 2023 was a lot of research. I was lucky enough that like I would apply and they would take on my application. So I did almost 4 workshops which had all different topics that are very important. The other one was more like business management, which was touching on the financial aspects of the art. The other one was more like how the art ecosystem works. And the other one was more about career guidance. So all of these things gave me, maybe the confidence and the education that I much needed before I pursued, the actual practice. So I only started painting again in 2023, and I started to have pretty much a lot of exhibitions, even international recognition, because I knew how to photograph the words, how to present the words, how to write a portfolio, how to write a proposal. So it's like you need all these tools for you to be a professional artist, because reality is it's a business. Being an artist, you are running a business, and if you don't understand, the other side of, the creative part, you won't survive, because there's money involved, contracts, all of that. So I started by doing a lot of workshops, but I didn't study art.
Listen, if the gift is yours, it's yours. I think that's very telling. I'm on your website actually, just looking at some. Actually, I'm on the augusthouse.co.za. I beg your pardon, and I'm looking at some of your art, and it's so eclectic. Yes, but I'm on August House looking at your art, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Just before we wrap it up very quickly, please tell us about your showcase that's happening this weekend. 27 boxes. We wanted more information about that.
So we are currently doing an exhibition at 27 Boxes of Jams, which is titled Emergent Visions. So basically, it's abstract artists from August House coming together to tell stories, to also break down the meanings behind their work, and we're also touching on conversations of advocacy. Things like advocacy is a huge part of what abstract artists, we often neglected. I don't want to say neglected, but like looked down upon because people don't understand abstract art. So this is a way to bring community together to have these conversations of what is abstract art, what does it mean, and how do you look at it, and how do you approach it. So it's one of our closing shows in the studio building, also in collaboration with an organization to raise funds. Because we often do fundraisers and as visual artists too.
Okay.
I mean, I'm also very philanthropic by heart, so yeah.
Okay. It sounds very exciting. All the best with that. Just by the way, I think we'd love to see more of that, more of your art moving in spaces where people can consume it. Maybe one day you'll get to paint a beautiful mural in Johannesburg, as part of a public art project of sort. I think your work definitely speaks to that. It's so capturing. And I love those little markings that look like letters or personal codes on the art. It's so beautiful. Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Alpheus Ngoepe, Johannesburg-based visual artist. Listen, if you want to go check out his showcase, it's happening on the 6th and 7th of December at Emergent Visions at Jam. That's at 27 Boxes in Melville in Johannesburg.